Hi, it's Ileana. So today I'm remote viewing extraterrestrial presence on Mars. Presence of several extraterrestrial species. Probing, does life exist on Mars? Energetic life, soul and physical signatures confirmed. Taking a deeper look into what species live on Mars. There is an ongoing extraterrestrial presence on Mars, which includes both underground and interdimensionally phased aspects of it. These beings are not native to Mars, but are part of long-standing operations, some ancient, some more recent. This includes underground cities and facilities. First, ancient Martian vault cities, pre-human. Location near Valles Marineris, under Olympus Mons and beneath the northern polar region. Species, tall, thin beings with elongated skulls. They resemble the Anunnaki-Lyran descendant types, highly intellectual, now mostly in stasis or phased. These beings are not the original Anunnaki, and they did not participate in the mining of Mars and Earth for precious minerals. As well, these descendants did not participate in the Anunnaki politics of taking over worlds and manipulating human genetics to regress the 12th stranded DNA components of humans, reducing it to only 2-stranded DNA matrices. So these descendants were not part of that particular historical aspect of what the Anunnaki did. So they're more like just being there now on Mars. They are descendants. They didn't consent to what was done in that historical timeline. They did not consent to that in any way, shape, or form. Their energy reads as being cleaner than what the original Anunnaki colonists were doing on Mars. So these descendants were more like guarding the cities on Mars that they had built. They were protecting what was left of these colonies once the Anunnaki left. So they were there as just living beings living their lives on Mars. That's what I sense from these particular descendants. State, these cities are semi-abandoned but still technologically active. Some areas are protected by quantum shielding grids. Purpose, once served as planetary outposts during the Orion and Lyran wars. Contains galactic historical records and dormant genetic libraries. So these descendants were like the caretakers of these outposts, but they weren't participating in the original Orion-Lyran wars. They were just the descendants of everything that happened later on, and they were just trying to live their lives peacefully and coexist with the other colonists and inhabitants of Mars, because there's more than one species type there. Number 2, reptilian draconian base. It's still active from the energy signature. Location, South Pole region, subsurface caverns. Species, a faction of Draco-reptilian hybrids, not native to Mars, but stationed there as a control node during Earth-Mars manipulations. What are their activities? Let's have a look at that. Genetic experimentation, psychic warfare training, and timeline surveillance. Status. Tensions are present between them and other Martian factions, mostly hidden from surface scans. Interdimensional or phase-shifted beings. Number 3, blue avian custodians. Location, 5th dimensional frequency pocket over Elysium Planitia. Nature, not physical in the human sense. Phase shifted into a higher density field that intersects Mars. Role: act as watchers/protectors, especially near Stargate relics from ancient Mars. Purpose: guarding relics from misuse and guiding higher consciousness contact. Protocols for select humans and hybrid souls. Mars is sort of a jumpway gateway for hybrid souls or hybrid extraterrestrials or even galactic humans with past lives to come in through these stargates to incarnate on Earth. So some of these stargates were used that way in the past. Now it's more restricted. It's more like the stargates now being used is for actual like travel between different planets, not so much for souls to incarnate through the stargates, to find corporeal form either living on Mars or Earth. So these stargates their frequency has been changed now. So it's not used that way anymore. Everything has been recalibrated. So it's just transporting people back and forth in different species. The more standard stargates that they're using now, the Stargate relics from ancient Mars, they're no longer used for incarnation of any type of souls. But before, that used to be more prominent there. Now it's not, because there's other ways of soul groups, soul lineages, star families coming in. They don't have to come in through Stargate relics. They can come in through more natural Stargate frequencies, some more organic soul incarnation. But in the past, it was done somehow through these Stargate relics. It could be done that way, from what I sense in the energy. Number 4, hybrid humanoid colonists, secret space program factions. Location: lava tubes and domed structures in Arcadia, Planitia, and Utopia, Planitia. Origin: human extraterrestrial hybrids from Earth's breakaway civilizations. Example: Solar Warden, Nachtwaffen, because these types of programs often hybridize humans from Earth with other extraterrestrial genetics, and they splice that together, and that's what creates these hybrids. Status: active and fully operational. Populations in the tens of thousands. Many were born on Mars and have limited Earth memory. Technology: magnetic shielding, anti-gravity lifts, and plasma-based atmospheric processing. Surface and atmospheric zones. Number 5, insectoid observers. Appearance: mantis-like, ethereal. Use temporal cloaking to avoid detection. Activity: monitoring EM fluctuations, atmospheric anomalies, and psychic emissions from human colonists. Purpose: act as likely neutral observers or subtle manipulators within a long-standing galactic balance protocol. Key functions of Mars as an ET hub. So, function and details. Stargate node contains at least 2 active wormhole systems, one linking to Ganymede and one to Orion remnants. Genetic archive. Vaults beneath the surface hold preserved DNA strands from dozens of galactic races. So there is a vault hub for genetic preservation. Timeline management, used as an observation point for potential Earth timeline variations, key for SSP and Orion remnants. Ancient war ruins, scarred landscapes like Valles Marineris are remnants of massive energy weapon conflicts in pre-human epochs, and that goes back like 500,000 years ago and 400,000 years ago to those dates. What is hidden from mainstream science? NASA's visible missions, rovers, satellite imaging are not shown the real structures or basis due to cloaking fields, time distortions, and AI-generated image manipulation layers. So they aren't showing the real structures on Mars. They're just manipulating images and video to just show you just these landscapes of rocks, craters, mountain surfaces, sandstorms, stuff like that, and they're just showing rovers collecting samples of stuff. That's what's shown by NASA in the visible missions, but that's not all of it. So they're scrubbing footage and changing what is actually there, what's being recorded. Mars is terraformed in microzones. Specific areas have artificial atmospheres, electromagnetic domes, or underground ecospheres with ecosystems of plant life, animals, forests, lakes in these dome structures. So that's what they have. And everything on Mars that's growing is bigger because something is different in the soil. So everything becomes bigger, like mushrooms and trees, even certain types of animals. Final remote viewing conclusion. Yes, extraterrestrials are currently living on Mars. There are at least 5 distinct factions, some visible only in certain dimensions. These beings operate on timelines and frequencies beyond normal human perception, but remain deeply involved in the affairs of Earth and its evolutionary trajectory. So now we're just going to look at this map of extraterrestrial locations and species zones on Mars. There's the ancient Martian vault cities with the tall beings in stasis, and that's kind of in a crater area between Olympus Mons, Valles Marineris. Then we have number 2, Reptilian Draconian Base, higher density field in the South Pole region. We have number 3, Blue Avian Custodians, higher density field. Then we have like number 4 is the humanoid SSP factions in lava tubes and domes, and they're being watched by the Blue Avian Custodians to make sure that they don't do anything that's outside balancing, what's acceptable in life forms. Like, don't manipulate the timelines, don't create chaos on Mars, don't destroy the planet, stuff like that. So the Blue Avian Custodians monitor what human SSP are doing to make sure that things stay in balance. That's why they're Blue Avian Custodians. And number 5, Insectoid Observers, temporal cloaking, and they're near Elysium Planitia. So this is kind of like the map layout of who's living on Mars currently. And some of them are in higher density fields and some of them are in more physicality, like the breakaway civilizations of the SSP humans and human extraterrestrial hybrids from Solar Warden and Nachtwaffen. So there's a mixture of different living beings and species that live on Mars and all kinds of technologies based on their advancements and also Stargate relics and other types of ancient technologies and genetic vaults on Mars. So I just wanted to share this interesting remote viewing. Thank you so much.